is Bluescape? Bluescape is a cloud-based digital collaborative workspace that enables teams, particularly if you're geographically distributed, to work better and to collaborate and engage better. We use over 160 acres in the cloud to house artifacts that you would use in a typical meeting in the cloud. And this format is what we use for a typical demo in our showroom. And we'd like it to be conversational, so I don't want anybody to wait until the end of our presentation to ask questions. I'd like you to just raise your hand and we'll make it conversational, because I think that's kind of the best use of our time. So this is the workspace, and Tueva's going to drive.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about introductions, the Bluescape difference, the needs of the organization, so doing some qualification, and then the Bluescape functionality, diving into how to actually get content into a workspace. So I am Tueva Tazine. I'm born and raised in the Boston area, and Jamie Winter is the same. Our company is based in San Carlos, California, the Bay Area. So we're definitely removed from our organization, if you will. But for the most part, Bluescape really helps us stay intact. So Jamie will continue with the Bluescape difference.
As the workforce gets more and more mobile and people are working more distributed, the idea behind needing to have a way to collaborate across time zones, across the globe, across different offices is becoming more and more apparent. So the Bluescape difference is really how we approach that problem and how we tackle that problem. And as the workforce continues to evolve to be more and more distributed, we feel like Bluescape is sort of the best medium to engage with your team. So if you're working on complex product design review, or if you're working on a set of blueprints that need to have several eyes on them before they get approved, or if you're working with a team that just needs to meet regularly and the team is all over the world, this is a fantastic way to host all the content that's in that meeting. And I guess one of the question that we had outside that kept coming up often was what's the biggest differentiator with Bluescape? And there's a couple things. I think one is that we're hosted in the cloud, and so we're a bit above the fray, if you will. So it's very agile. You simply get into the portal via a link, and you're in the meeting. So you don't have to bring the people to the meeting. You bring the meeting to the people. And the fact that you can upload everything from Word docs, Google Docs, videos, images, PowerPoints, Excel spreadsheets, really anything you use in a traditional meeting in the cloud enables you to not really change how you're doing things today. You just host it in a different medium. And that's really the difference that you get when we talk about the Bluescape difference.
And when it comes to Bluescape, we are, our parent company is Hayworth. They manufacture high-end furniture, and they came with the idea of Bluescape because they were taking a look at their own seating portfolio. They printed them on 3x5 cards and just posted them on the wall, and then they were able to identify gaps. The benefit there was they had people come into that room to also put in their ideas, but the hang-up was they had to fly people and they had to dedicate one room for a seating portfolio. So they met with a company called Obscura Digital a couple years after, and they do touch displays. So when Obscura Digital and Hayworth connected, they created Bluescape, and we're supported on desktops, tablets, and these touch-enabled walls. And that's how the story came apart. So Hayworth, physical workspace, Bluescape, virtual workspaces.
So what questions, guys? Just feel free. This is very free form, and we'd like this to be as conversational as possible. So go ahead.
Well, excellent. You brought up you said the term blueprints. So if some of my associates and I were going to do a construction project or some development around the U.S., what's Bluescape going to do for us?
It's a better way to engage and more quickly come to a resolution. You can take that blueprint and put it up in a digital workspace, as opposed to having to fly everybody in or having to all be in the same location. It's virtually hosted, so you can literally be in any corner of the world and all be on the same page immediately.
Thank you.
So we have a feature called import where I can find Google Images. So I just typed in floor plan, and then this came up. So anyone around the world can do exactly what I'm doing, such as mark on things and see it. It saves automatically. I can close my laptop, go home, and still see this exact image, and they can add comments. Next question?
So could you like zoom out of that as if you were looking at a wall and have all your papers there?
Exactly.
Yep.
So this is me zooming out. I should have done that from the beginning,
Yeah.
huh?
So it's like a pin, it's almost like a pinboard. You can
Exactly.
zoom in on
Exactly.
products.
Exactly.
So we had this debate before we came up whether we were going to do our video, which shows that expansion and contraction of the workspace. But we like to, given the dynamic here, we wanted it to be conversational. So that's why we chose to kind of go through our traditional demo. Go ahead.
Do you have any kind of like internal organization so that you're not just scrolling through and looking for things?
Yep. Yeah. So one of the challenges, and benefit and a challenge of Bluescape is that the workspace is 160 acres of digital workspace, and that can be very overwhelming if you're just going into a brand new workspace. So what we use are called location markers to tell you where you are in the grand scheme. So it's sort of a latitude and longitude of where you are in the workspace, and we label them. And you can also send messages. You can take a particular location and you can email it to one of your teammates and say, we're at this location on the workspace and we're going to work on this particular aspect, or we're going to have this is the space in the workspace where we're going to cover this specific agenda. We want, these are the action items for today. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
What documents can you support in terms of upload?
Word, PowerPoint, JPEG, PNG, GIF, and the entire suite of Google Docs and OneDrive, websites, YouTube.
On the Microsoft documents, is it read only or can you write?
It would be a view only. So here's a scenario. We're working on a document together. Maybe it's a PowerPoint. And just like I did with the floor plan, you and I are kind of marking up what I need to change on that document. You can add comments, and that frees me up from going back to an email with bullet points and seeing what I have to change. I'm a little too visual, so bullet points does not work for me anymore.
That's a good segue. One of the huge benefits of Bluescape is that it really enables people to use their own work style. Mm-hmm. So if you happen to be very visual, you can embrace that in Bluescape. If you happen to prefer to work from PowerPoint or from Word documents or some other traditional way, you can do that in Bluescape as well. So it's just hosting your typical day-to-day meetings in a different medium, and that's really the significant benefit that Bluescape brings to the table. Yes.
Do you find that there's a X% increase in productivity from using this?
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult for me to be very specific from a statistical standpoint, but universally, the customers that we have known, it takes a little bit. There's a bit of a learning curve, if you will, to get sort of what we call it Bluescapified, because you'll do things a certain way. You'll be used to presenting, a certain meeting in PowerPoint, for instance, and you can still do that. You can still put the PowerPoint up in Bluescape, but you don't have to. You could use note cards, or you could put a Word doc up, or you could put a picture of what you want to speak to up. But universally, we've seen fairly significant increases in productivity and reduced time to market and significant savings from having to reduce flights for people and reduce travel and that kind of thing. So the problem that we solve is collaboration. That's what we're trying to enable.
Do you provide any form of real-time communication between people? Like if you have 2 or 3 people over the platform, do you have chat, video, talk?
Yep. So the feature that we have in Bluescape is called Meet, and it's if you can see it there. Yep. Down at the bottom, you can join just via video, or you can also join audio visual. And we have our company all hands meeting every week, and we all join via the workspace, and you can see everybody's sort of tiled pictures or just their microphone. But it's just a link, and you're immediately in the workspace. There's no dial-in number. It's just you're immediately there.
Can management assign duties to people that are working on this? Like, for instance, like someone's responsible for initial draft, someone's responsible for, the revision process, and another set of eyes for, like, let's say, quality assurance that can make kind of virtual assembly.
Yeah, it's very.
I can give you a quick example. So my boss does it all the time. So this should be fairly easy.
It really does allow you to do the way things are doing today, just in a different medium.
So I have a location marker called Jump Draw, and I'm just going to upload some content in here just to show you kind of some things that my manager might do. So you can add one image or you can add multiple. So I just uploaded 27 images. You'll see that come up. He would most likely grab a section of either images or documents and move it over into what we call a parking lot. And then from there, he just might write my name. He calls me T, so let's stay with that name. And just put it right above. And then might add a new location marker. Just call this meeting. And from here, he'll send a message, and he'll add it just like he would in a normal email. Hey Tueva, I just add some images, some documents. Please take a look at this for our next meeting. And from there, I'm able to click on a link that brings me directly into this spot where I can annotate, I can add comments, and yeah, that's it. And then we just continue moving towards that.
How do you guys feel like you attack this problem differently and really differentiate yourselves from other kind of cloud-based virtual walls, like Neuralink, for example?
Yeah. Okay. So one of our customers is Environments at Work. They're a design firm. They use Bluescape in a way to do qualification. This design review process takes about maybe 6 weeks usually. And they will have their customers come into, thank you. They have their customers come into their space, and instead of showing them a PowerPoint, they will have images and have them move them into different locations. They'll have Pinterest, and it saves automatically, and they engage the customer with the content, and they cut down that design review process to like 3 weeks. So, I'm sorry, to 3 hours from 6 weeks, just by showing images and having websites. We're hosted in the cloud. We are not dedicated to just one piece of hardware, because we do have touch-enabled walls. There's different sizes that you can have, and plus you have a customer success manager tied to your account, which is I'm a customer success manager, and a lot of the other solutions is really just like here's a video wall. Yeah, we're here to help coach you guys.
So I guess another way to say that is there's a lot of different ways that we differentiate ourselves. One is that we're hardware agnostic. Another is that you can put pretty much anything in a workspace that you're working with today, and that's not necessarily the case with all of our competitors. And we really think of the tool as a people tool as opposed to another tool that you need to learn. You don't really need to learn very much. As you can see, I mean, the toolbar up top is very simple. The learning curve here is minimal. It's extremely intuitive. And to get back to the question that was asked earlier, there are significant increases in productivity and time to market that are realized almost immediately. So I guess when we think about how we differentiate ourselves from our competitors, it's a lot of different things. But I would say the biggest differentiator is our scalability, just because you don't have to do anything really different than you're doing today.
Yes.
Can you make any projections about trends, upcoming trends in the next few years with,
Yeah, I guess, I mean, from Bluescape's immediate perspective, I'm very hesitant to do anything like that, but there are tons and tons of reports, and you all see this. I mean, the reason you're here in this room is because we're all looking at tools that will benefit a mobile workforce. So, I mean, the fact that we're having this meeting at all speaks to the fact that this is an enormous trend. There was an IDC report maybe a year or so ago that said by the year 2020, 3/4 of the workforce in technology is going to be working remotely. And tools like this, whether it's Bluescape or something like this is the way that people are going to do their work in the future. Whether it's this exact medium or something like it, we're all going to be working like this. So I feel like, I'm obviously biased in that I'm with Bluescape, but I feel very strongly that this is the best solution out there for this kind of work and this kind of collaboration. So,
Yes. Okay.
Two follow-up questions. Who do you find are your sort of core customers? Are they mostly designers, design firms, product managers, engineers, whatever? Then secondly, how do you guys deal with the question of security? When you
Sure.
upload onto the cloud?
sure. So I'll take the second piece of the question first. So we're hosted on AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is of the applications that are hosted in the cloud, that's sort of the most secure place to be. And we've got extensive ability to sort of back up our ability to be secure. We're working with a lot of healthcare providers, a lot of big film industries, and a lot of financial companies that are all ultra protective of their IP, and we've been sufficient from a security standpoint enough for them to work with us. And then as far as our kind of core customers, we work with everybody. We've seen huge strength in our use case to do agile software development, to do any kind of complex design reviews, or simple design reviews for that matter. But really, the use case for Bluescape is really any team that wants to better enable their workforce to collaborate better, and that's everybody.
Do any of you guys use like a whiteboard at all, or post? It's not even, a lot of people don't. Some people don't. Yeah. Okay. Or Postit Notes. Are you guys any color coders? Any? Okay. So then you would love Bluescape. I'm using this. I mean, our core value is like software design, but I'm also using it to plan my family reunion because it's a way for me to brain dump, synthesize, and then kind of assign later. And a whiteboard and Postit Notes don't do that today.
Does Bluescape have any kind of version control where I can go back to things that people have messed up on my version?
So it's persistent in that nothing ever gets erased. And as far as version control, I think we touched on this a little bit when we were talking before the presentations, but we use the location markers to kind of do our version control. And we're working on a more sophisticated way to do actual version control, but at the moment we use our location markers to mark date, time, material that we've covered, and that's sort of the way that we address version control at the moment.
And does it integrate with any enterprise level tool like Microsoft SharePoint or something like that?
Sorry.
Does it integrate with any kind of enterprise level tools like a Microsoft SharePoint tool or something?
We have Box, Dropbox, OneDrive today and Drive in order for you to pull in any documents into the workspace.
Okay, so it's going to treat the documents separately. It doesn't actually have a filing system.
Exactly. It's more like we have a project. So
It's just a place to host.
Exactly. It's like a digital room. Sorry, we get too visionary sometimes at Bluescape, and we're trying to like settle it down. Yes. Pricing model.
We have individual licensing, which is $11.88 per year, and then we have a concurrent license, which is $1,500 per year.
If you have a business card and is willing to try it, we'll give you guys a free trial.
Yeah, absolutely. And anybody who's in here who wants to use the tool, just come and see me, and I'll set you up with a license.
Yes.
When you collaborate with a global team, is the performance pretty seamless, or does it depend on kind of where you are with the bandwidth and stuff like that?
It's pretty seamless, and I have a client in Sweden, and we'll use this a lot. We were planning an event, so we'll use this a lot. Most of the times, she's sleeping when I'm up, and vice versa. But that's the beauty of it. I didn't have to wait at an odd hour just to meet with her. There was already content in there, and she could just check off things that she's done or I've done, and we just keep it moving. We just have like a to-do, doing, done list. So it's usually the person, you're the host. How are you setting that meeting up for your team or your project or what have you?
Pricing.
Pricing. Oh, sorry. You answered it. Yes.
How many people can you get in a meeting? It's open, or you have a setup number?
So the largest number that I've seen is when we do our weekly hands-on meeting, and that's 67 or 68 people. So it's fairly robust from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What else, Matt? think we're probably running up pretty close to the time, but I don't know. Get in touch with us. It's this is definitely the wave of the future, and we are going to transform the way people work, and we will help people to better collaborate, and that'll be the value of Bluescape.
Yeah.
So,
And we have a showroom on 125 High Street in the financial district that has a touch-enabled wall that sometimes tells the entire story. So feel free to contact us. We'll love to have you. Thank you.